Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another opportunity to get after it. Today's stream is going to be a little bit shorter. I am opening the new HQ of the Move Miami this week. We have been cranking, Drew and I. If you want to follow our story, Drew be posting some pretty good snippets of what's going on in here on the page. You could follow him at Drew's The Move. You can follow the page at The Move Miami. He is my business partner, longtime friend, and co-owner of the space. Let's talk about what the heck happened last Friday. So Trump had a little temper tantrum, threw the markets off a cliff, came down quite a little bit. And what's most interesting about this tantrum, holy crap, is the music that's playing. This music is freaking magic in my eardrums, though. Holy smokes. Okay. Top of the morning. What's up, man? I think you're the first one here. Welcome back. What's up, OG Trey? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So Trump threw a little temper tantrum, threw the market off a cliff. He didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. But we came down to this trend line, which is pretty cool. So this is that trend line that I've been mentioning for a while now. It would not be surprising if we retested it. And look at that. Came right down to it. Off of it a little bit, but we can see that there was confluence with this volume profile shelf right here. So the market and people's positioning still matters even when we have a major shift in the market, okay? There's a huge volume profile shelf right here. Now, the next move, if we do get another downside extension, I know we popped up a little bit, did like a 70% retest so far, but if we get another downside extension, would be to the edge of the shelf right here, okay? Really, this previous measured move target, most interesting enough. Right now, on the lower time frames, this nice little pop-up. Let's see what happened here. Let's look at where the overnight POC is. I'm listening to Lost Kings right now. Quad, what's up? Welcome back. Everybody who's joining in this morning, welcome back. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Spent it doing something entertaining, hopefully. I finally got my other light put up, so I look a little bit better this morning. Just a little bit. I haven't even checked my... Oh, no, not the black screen of death. That's not what we want. Nope. That was not it. So let's see what happens here in the morning, okay? If you missed it earlier, this is going to be a shortened stream. I have a 10 o'clock meeting that I have to run to. Great week because it's finally getting cooler. Awesome. We did almost a double doji here. Get ES up here on this side. I could see this come down. I mean, we're almost done traversing this shelf right here. Let me get my tools closer. I'm always going across my entire screen to get these things. So we've got this node right here that we formed from the initial drop, and then some of the consolidation pop up last night. We just traversed this little node right here. Okay, so let's see if we bounce off of this, or what I could see is a pretty big retest, honestly, of this candle, okay? And it does a big wumbo pattern, okay? W pattern. For those of you who don't know what I mean when I say wumbo. Could get a nice W pattern. We'll see here. I did take a nice little long yesterday. Nice. Love to see that. It cooled off a little bit here, but cooling off here was like, 78 degrees instead of 90. But what I'm really most interested in today, guys, is are we going to reclaim this entire move here? Okay, it's what we call the Trump taco trade. Okay, it's basically where Trump announces some tariffs, he chickens out, and the market just corrects itself. It's happened basically every time, and that's because the economy can't actually support any of these extreme tariffs. And he basically uses it as an opportunity for a bunch of insider trading. What that means for us as speculators is we should just anticipate a full recovery of basically every one of these tariff moves, okay? Unless they actually stick, which would be bad. I will say we might see some relief soon. I mean, it's a separate conversation. The soybean industry, farmers are getting absolutely annihilated right now. They're really having a tough time. And they're actually looking for some bailouts, and that's part of his base. So maybe he'll cave. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, farmers are getting annihilated right now, despite the market being at all-time highs. But as we know, the stock market is not representative of the economy in its whole and what it means for workers and small business owners for sure, right? We're looking at an index of the largest corporations. Keep that in mind, right, when you're thinking about these things. But nonetheless, in terms of trading today, I do have some calls that expire tomorrow. We'll see if those go to zero or not. We basically need a move today. Oh my God. I need some chiller music, dude. I'm freaking out with the soundtrack. Whew, there we go. Slow down a little bit. Maybe gap fill, maybe not. Yeah, we'll see here. I mean, we'll know, I think, around 10 if we start to get some nice flagging, essentially, consolidation, we'll move up. It's almost a perfect measured move to the top of this, right? If you just look at the move we made, I mean, I guess I'll just draw it. There is no preceding candle, but basically a perfect measured move back to the top here on both charts. It's a little bit higher, actually. And it is Monday. Am I wrong for looking for this Trump rant dip as the moment to find a macro move higher? Not at all. If you should actually be looking at every single time he's announced tariffs, what the subsequent moves have. It's been a very consistent pattern of the market comes off, right? Right, which makes sense. And then he rolls them back either immediately or over a period of days or a week. And he actually will even signal ahead of time when he's going to do it, which is pretty crazy. For some of the times, right? But the market tends to react pretty consistently to these things, and there's some money to be made there. Right now, we're consolidating a little bit. They traverse this node all the way to the edge of this little blip right here. I mean, if you think this is a flag, this would be the place to buy. Otherwise, it'll start to roll, right? But you could have pretty tight risk. Basically, put your stop at the bottom of this candle would be your trade there, assuming that this is going to continue higher. If you don't think it's going to continue higher, then the trade is basically all the way back down to here, right? Do a proper trend line retest. Probably. Woo, man. And do that W pattern. We will see. Paulo, good morning. Paulo, you in America yet? Where you at, man? If I took the flag, why wouldn't the overnight low be the stop? Because you're assuming if this is the base of the flag, right? You got the flag pole. This is the flag. You're basically assuming that this is the dip on the flag, right? I mean, you could put your stop down here, but if you think it's going to come down this low, that's a 186 point stop. You could if you trade small enough. I just wouldn't go that far personally. Not in this environment, not with this setup. I'd be a little bit more conservative so I don't get blown out. Personally. Back in November, nice, man. Yeah, bro, looking forward to it. New space. By the time you're here, the new HQ will be put together. Start throwing some events, bro. Be dope. Well, I did not sleep at all last night. Oh, had a very long day, but of course, the forces that be at home did not give a shit about that. So it's gonna be a rough one. That's why I got my sunglasses on, because I look terrible. Got some serious eye bags today. So here's, and again, I got to get off in about 15 minutes, so it is going to be a short stream. What you're looking for, guys, if we crack this high, we're going to go back to all-time highs. Okay, that's the play. Or the W. Okay, there's a very possible W pattern. You could have bought this low here with your stop below this candle. All right, try to take a long. If you're short biased, then you should have shorted that pop-up right there. In the middle of this range, I honestly wouldn't do anything. You need to figure out what your actual bias is on the day. Do you think we're still macro uptrending towards our macro target way up there? And this is just, some Trump tariff baloney. Otherwise, what you should think, honestly, is that this is the first leg of a continuation leg lower, probably down to this previous move target, right? That would have to be your thesis if you think we're going to take out this low, right? Where are we going? If you think we're going to take out this low, where do you think we're going? That would be how you should be thinking for today. Okay. Otherwise, this would be your other long opportunity down here with tight risk. So look for it to come down. Let's actually find where the VP is down here. So a nice little shelf right here. Let's go out a little bit further. Let's get ES in the mix as well. Let's see. We got the edge of this shelf right here. So there's this little shelf. This is the edge of a shelf. Yeah, hopefully on Wednesday we'll have a normal stream length, but today I just have some meetings. I need to meet with my lawyer and get some stuff done. A lot of important stuff to get done today, so. Saw a random podcast pop up on my IG feed. Sure enough, I knew immediately they were at the move. That's funny. I log into like when I'm checking SEO and stuff, I'll log into like incognito tabs on YouTube, and I just see content filmed at my studio, and it really is mind blowing how much someone like this, the top content, or people send me clips and stuff, like people that don't know that I own the studio, and I'm just like, yeah, we filmed that. We film a lot of stuff, guys. Like a lot of extremely popular stuff comes out of our studio. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Option order executed. Oh, I had a resting limit by. Whoops. Let's check platinum real quick. Gold. There goes gold. Still cranking. Sign of the times. Gold measured move is hit. Let's go to the weekly. Monthly. Risk consolidating on the monthly. I mean, ES hit my exact target that I had higher. I mean, it bisected it a little bit. But it literally went up, hit this level, and been chilling. I want to see how this next month goes. We have slightly decreasing volume. Not too much, though. Need to order some food. Thank you, Quad. Like most Mondays, I know we had this big move on Friday. The real goal this Monday, and I'll just say this for everyone here, is we want to get our bearings for the week. So regardless of whatever craziness you think is going to happen today, if you make or lose $0 today, that's totally fine. You don't have to figure this out. I guarantee you today, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that important, okay? For you as a trader, okay? As a trader, it's not that important. So if you're like, man, I need to capture the 600 or like, it's really not that big a deal, guys. If you figure this out, the most important thing today is definitely not to lose money, and figure out what you think is going to happen on the weekly, the monthly. Okay, so let's just look at the weekly here on NQ, and let's get rid of all these other levels that we no longer need. Last week we top wicked. Okay, this is really Friday right here in this candle, that nice little sell off. But nonetheless, the candle formed top wick at the high, higher volume candle. Okay, there's an imbalance here. So if we pop up, I could definitely see us come up to a 50 fib, 25,161, let's call it. I'm not going to mark that level. You can just eyeball it. Okay, just remember that I said that. I don't need the kudos. I'll take the money. Downside target is really, well, if we go to a lower time frame, maybe on the 8. Now we probably need the 4. Would be like a measured move, really just traversing this shelf here, right? So there is this big block. There's a few jagged edges here, but we came down to this node, and then the other side of this node down to this previous measured move target as a possible level. I could see us taking a pit stop in here, okay? Down in here, we have these lows, okay? Confluence with the edge down here. So we can come down, puncture this level, sweep these lows, get in there, okay? Last really nasty move we had, okay? Came down and kind of just stopped in no man's land, but there was a VP shelf there at the time, okay? It traversed this shelf, and then once it exhausted that shelf, then it bounced. So it doesn't necessarily on these sell-offs need to sweep a low. It would just be nice if it did, right? That would give you a really strong confirmation. Selling tends to be more of a panic. Okay, people panic sell, and they buy when they're bullish. when they're greedy. Whoops, let's move the line somewhere. So we got our edge of the shelf. We don't need this level. Don't think we need this level. Clean our charts up a little bit. Just ranging right here in the morning. Man, I'm achy. Been dancing a lot more recently. My freaking 34-year-old joints are like, yo, dog, what are you doing? Cool. Popping up a little bit. Yo, I don't know if you guys are R&B fans, but I be in here singing. LOL A7MD. Welcome back and good morning. This is going to be a short stream today. I'm actually getting off here in just a few minutes. I have a 10 o'clock call I'm talking to my CPA today. Then I got to talk to my lawyer. Then I got to talk to a new hire, young kid that I'm bringing on. Then I got another possible new hire coming in later. It's a very, very busy day for your boy. Very, very busy day. But running a business, a lot of fun, not gonna lie. It's a lot of fun it's a challenge type of way. I've been spending like $3,000 to $4,000 every day, and I do mean every day for the past like 2 months. Mention modes and nodes. Normally when I'm talking about a mode, I'm talking about a distribution. So like in statistics, so like you could have like a bimodal distribution, right? So think of it as just a type of distribution. It's not too relevant. What's most important really is when we're looking at the market, understanding that these nodes, these high value shelves, okay, on the volume profile get traversed. And our zigzag very often is the traversal of this shelf on different time frames. I like to stick between the 1 and the 4 hour because it's going to tell you where the most likely important zigzags are, right? You can see here that this consolidation, okay, since we popped up, like look, we gapped up right into this distribution here. Look at this. We gapped up into this distribution, and now we're ranging in this node. That's not by chance at all. This is just where people are, okay? So it makes sense for the auction for people to compete where people are positioned. Okay, some of that is people who were positioned on Friday, and we've added in a little bit more this morning already. That's all it is. And so that mixed with a little bit of higher highs and higher low analysis is going to give you a really accurate idea of what's going to happen, right? Add in some very simple shapes. Okay, you hear me talk about flags or flagging. I don't really look for like perfect flag, like triangle things anymore. It's more so a move, okay? A move, some type of consolidation, and then a move. That's all I'm looking for, okay? It's a flag to me. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some are more perfect than others. Some are more technically set up than others, but it doesn't have to be. If you want a really good book on technicals in general, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets is a book that I read. It's a very dry read. Highly recommend it, though, even just as a reference. Check that out. But really what I'm looking for, and this will be the question I ask every day. What are the 2 questions we ask ourselves every single day, guys? What 2 questions do we ask ourselves every single day? Put it in the chat. Who has the answer? Where is liquidity and how do we get there? I'll say it again. The first question is, where is the liquidity? Now, liquidity is a overused term, okay? So what I mean when I say liquidity is I'm looking at where people definitely are, okay? How do we know where they definitely are? Well, there's literally only one indicator that I use, and it's the volume profile. So right now we know that there's people here. So there's liquidity here. There is liquidity here. So when we pop up the next wave, I promise you it's going to be like this, okay? We're going to ping pong in this next shelf and then the next shelf and then through it, okay? That's literally how it's going to happen. Same if we go down, okay? So where is the liquidity? And then the price action is how do we get there? So, whoa. That's not what I want. What price action makes sense for us to get to and traverse the next liquidity shelf? Okay, and liquidity in the VPE system, volume profile edge-based trading system, my system, okay, liquidity is the nodes. We're just looking for where we know people are. Okay, it makes it a lot easier to trade, especially when we're inside. Okay, once we're at all-time highs, you have to understand that your best guess is going to be a measured move. Okay, we got a measured move like this. We're basically measuring the size of a wave in the market and looking for a continuation of that wave. So, nice way to end the stream. I do have to jump. Go meet with my CPA. Thank you for hopping on today, guys. I will be back on Wednesday. We'll do a normal stream. Have a great day. Play it safe. There's no reason to lose your account today. Today is not that special. If you feel compelled to overtrade or like you have to figure today out, I promise you, you don't have to figure today out. You could just like not even care and just look at the close and see what happened. Okay, and then replay it. But if you're getting chopped up already, you're doing it wrong. Okay, just relax. Okay. In any case, see you guys. Catch you later.